Wow. Hello everybody, welcome back to my studio. Goodness me, another week has rolled past. I don't quite know where that one's gone. It's been a very odd week. The weather's been very, very cold here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's been pretty darn cold here, which always makes me feel a little bit of sort of like shrunk in on myself. It's like it's an effort to do anything, isn't it? It's an effort to get togged up and go outside for a walk. Even though it's really bright and sunny, it's lovely, but it has been very, very cold. I've been lying, you see me in the evening time lying on my sofa with the cat, and I've got all these blankets on, and sometimes I even put a hat on, even though we've got central heating now, which is wonderful. It's like, yeah, this is reality. Or we're a bit like the big stove as well downstairs, which is lovely to sort of sit with the cat beside as well. So anyway, and the cat's been very wise in staying indoors, I have to say. But, so what I wanted to show you was how I finished off the little piece that I showed you last week with the embellisher. We took some lovely scraps again, as per usual. I very rarely use huge pieces of fabric. I think when I used to do dressmaking, donkeys years ago, which I have to say I wasn't very good at. Obviously you use big bits of fabric, but these days I seem to be using more and more just scraps. Because I haven't been shopping for fabrics, I've got a huge stash, and I think going forward my aim is just to use it up basically. But the thing is, if you're making smaller and smaller projects because you're using smaller and smaller scraps, I'm never going to get there. But I do enjoy what I do. So this is what I've come up with. Okay, this is the little mini seascape. It didn't sort of start out to be a mini seascape, but that seems to be what it's become. And you can have it any way up that you like. I actually quite like it that way. I don't know why. But you could have it up that way, or you could have it up that way. It doesn't really matter. I've just popped it into this little frame to show you, and I will show you all the lovely textures close up because there's some really nice things going on there. And it's all just done with scraps of fabric and free machine embroidery. No big deal. Everybody can do it. Obviously, you know, having an embellishing machine is such a boon. It really has transformed what I do. I don't use it all the time. You may think I'm completely addicted to it. I don't use it all the time, and I appreciate not everybody has one. So I will try and do a sort of a mix of things so that, you know, you don't feel you have to go and buy an embellisher in order to, you know, watch my films here. I have got news of my online workshop. I'm busy in the process of doing the sort of admin of that, of getting it up online, so I'm hoping it's going to be out next week. And what I will do is a little mini trailer to tell you that it's up and you can go and have a look at it. I'm really quite thrilled with it. It's quite exciting. It won't be for beginners, okay, this one's for people who can already free machine embroider. I felt I wanted to do something that was really pretty and a bit of a challenge. If you're desperate to do it, you know, I never say never. It's just that it does involve a bit of fabric manipulation, which if you're trying to concentrate on that and your free machine embroidery, it might just be a bit too much. And I didn't want to put anybody off free machine embroidery. So, but I will be doing another online workshop fairly soon. Once I've got this one up, I'm going to start working on my next one because I just love doing it. And I will be doing that specifically for beginners. Although again, you know, anybody can do it, but I will be aiming it at beginners so that it gives you something to get your teeth into if you're just starting off, okay? The current new online workshop that I'm working on, I have to say I'm going to give you a little flavour of the colours that I've been using in it. I think it might be Valentine's Day next week, so there might be a little clue in that as well. And I've just really been enjoying taking my scraps and turning them into something else yet again. So watch out for that trailer. As I say, it all takes time, it all takes my energy, and I can only do one thing at a time. So I think this morning we're focusing on this little mini seascape. So let's get on with some free machine embroidery, and I'll show you how I put this together with my stitching. Okay, so here we are. I've got my sewing machine set up for free machine embroidery. Got my darning foot on, or embroidery foot if you're new to this sort of thing. You need to lower your feed dog teeth underneath, which I've done underneath there. And I've reduced my top tension a little bit because that's what I do for my machine. Your machine may be different, of course. And I set my tension, my stitch length to 0 because that means I'm controlling the stitch length of what I'm going to be doing. So I think I'm going to start down here. So you have to put your presser foot down as per with all your stitching. Put your presser foot down and just step off. This is the kind of free machine embroidery that I really like. There's no requirement for it to be anything. You're just playing. With a little bit of colour, and you're just trying to hold down things a little bit more, add a bit of colour into it. And what I like is you're not trying to outline anything, so it doesn't matter where your stitching actually goes. I think it's such a lot of freedom. And obviously, I don't know if you can see there, but I've done some fairly long stitches there. It's all to do with the ratio of how fast you press your accelerator pedal and how fast you move your fabric as to what length of stitch that you will get, okay? Right, I'm not going to take that colour right up into this end because I don't really want it up there. And I think what I'm going to do now is change my top thread. We'll have another colour added into the mix. Okay, so I've changed my top thread for a slightly, it's a sort of a pale dark blue, if that makes sense. I don't know if I can show you it there, if I put it across there. It's almost, sorry, it almost looks a bit grey. But I just thought I'm just going to add that in as a little bit of mix because there's a bit of that sort of shade here in this bit of yarn. Just put my lever down. I think it's a bit like painting. It's choosing your colours and choosing exactly where to put them. And that's where free machine embroidery is really helpful because you can do a little bit of, say, one shade there. And if you want to move it, you can then just move it like that. You can lift your lever up or not. And you just move it up to another area and do a little bit more of the same colour. And just keep moving around like that and adding in colours to the mix. And I think we're just going to sort of get this little bit of lace to hold down. So you see a nice little waggly line like that just adds into the mix so nicely. I don't have a lot of colour therapy in my background. I didn't really study art really as a thing. I just kind of work intuitively, and I'm sure you do the same. It's really what pleases your eye, you know, whether you want to add light or dark, you know, whether you're adding highlights to something or whether you're just trying to give a bit of depth to an area. A piece like this, it's really just for playing, and that's what I'm doing. But you never know, it might inspire a bigger piece of work coming, you know, up in the future. So I think again, I'm going to just stop there with that colour. And I might add another little bit of light or maybe some white or maybe even put some silver in. I shall have a little go and I'll show you it when it's all done. Okay, so this is the little finished piece, and I'll try and perhaps give you a close-up of it towards the end of the film. And you can see there's lots of different colours going on. There's lots of little different textures going on. I think it's really quite pleasing to have made this, you know, just from a basket of scraps, really. Isn't that nice? And also on an afternoon when I don't really quite know what I wanted to do, because obviously my head's really in something else, in a total different colour scheme, I have to say, for my new online workshop. So I'll just show you the size of this. You see, it's really quite small. It's about 6 inches by about, what, 4.5 inches. So really very, very small. I think it could be lots of different things. It could be a pretty little picture if you popped it into a frame. That'd be quite nice in a little frame. You could even, I think it actually works quite nicely that way as well, I have to say, just as a sort of a study of lovely colours, just something textural to hang on your wall. Or you could be just putting it, I'm just wondering when I've got a bit of better thing to show you it on. So it could look nice in a frame, as I say, or you could perhaps be framing it in a different way. You could be putting it onto a mounting board or a backboard. Obviously I'd need to trim some of these a little bit, but you see, again, if you were to hang this as a piece on the wall and allow all of your threads to hang down, that could be really quite nice. But those could, as I say, be trimmed off. We'll just snip those off a little bit. I'm going to leave them a little bit dangly because I don't want them all trimmed off. Okay, I just want to leave some of them sort of sticking out. So let's just get that piece off there. So you could actually be framing it up like that. I've got a frame here, but I'm not sure that it works particularly well. See, like that. There you go. That's not too bad. It's not quite the right shape for it, but it's allowing the whole piece as it is to be framed and to appreciate all these beautiful rough edges, which I think are really lovely. I'll turn it over so you can see the back a bit better. You can see how embellishing it has pushed the colour through onto the back, and you can see the free machine embroidery. There's not a lot of it, and it's all very simple, just taking your machine for a walk, letting it sew, and you just move the fabric up and down. Very simple. This could also, if you wanted to maybe embellish it a bit more and you could trim the edges, you could turn it into brooches. There would be lovely brooches for you to give as gifts to people or wear yourself. Or I often look at things and think, well, what happens if you do this, if you turn it into a cylinder? You see, I just think, well, you know, it's like a little miniature vase or something like that. I think it's got so much potential when you make little things like this. And I've just had a lovely time making it. It's given me some inspiration, it's given me some pleasure, and I hope it's given you some of those as well. And I will basically stop there, and I will see you next time on my channel. And I will hope to have some news next time of my new online workshop. But in the meantime, I just wish you a very peaceful and creative week. And I'll say bye for now. Thanks so much for watching.